The Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2018 will be revealed during NFL Honors, which will be broadcast on NBC at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on February 3rd, the night before Super Bowl 52. While we wait to learn which luminaries among the 15 modern-era finalists will get the call, Elliot Harrison has taken a swing at predicting who will get to don a gold jacket. Note, the prediction below reflects who Elliot thinks will make it in based on how he sees the votes falling, not necessarily who he thinks should get in. The projected class of 2018. Dawkins, safety. Dawkins was a finalist last year, and I don't see a player of his ilk being left out again. Dawkins could cover early in his career, although his strength was making impact plays. Not only was he a hitter, but he actually completed the tackle, unlike so many defensive backs today. Hall voters are consistently reminded of the shortage of defensive players in Canton. This year, Dawkins will help even the scales.Ray Lewis, linebacker. Nearly every Hall of Fame class carries a shoo-in, and 2018 is no different. Lewis will hear his name called. No one is expecting the former middle linebacker to wait, as the Ravens star is already considered one of the greatest defensive players ever, irrespective of position. Having won Defensive Player of the Year honors twice and a Super Bowl MVP nod puts him in rarefied air, extremely rarefied air, as no other player in NFL history has pulled that feat off. Lewis was also named first-team All-Pro 7 times. Moving along. Randy Moss, wide receiver. This will probably be the most controversial choice among Hall voters, though not among readers. Most fans feel Moss is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Voters? If they didn't buy into Terrell Owens the last 2 years, why would they check the box for a wideout who admittedly took plays off, whereas T. O didn't? The answer lies in two parts. A. The general consensus around Moss is that no player in his era was scarier. Only Barry Sanders brought that kind of cachet to his position. Moreover, Moss might have been the premier player on the field the first time he stepped on it. Being great out of the gate built a narrative that should lead to enshrinement in Moss's first year of eligibility. Oh, yeah, the second reason. B. Don't underestimate the age of the voters. There are so many in the room filling out a ballot who didn't start covering pro football until the 2000s, members of the video game generation. The Moss generation. Tony Baselli, offensive tackle. I reserve the right to change my mind on this pick between now and Saturday. Like Davis, Boselli boasts postseason success, if to a lesser extent than the former Broncos running back. Everyone over 30 seems to remember the day he shut out Bruce Smith in a 1996 AFC wildcard game between the Jags and Bills. Boselli was the standard at the left tackle position until injuries derailed his career. In 6 relatively healthy seasons, Boselli managed 5 Pro Bowls and 3 first-team All-Pro nods. I debated putting the great Alan Faneca in this spot, as I think there will be alignment in this year's class. Wall's name hardly came up for 20 years. All of a sudden, he got discussed in the room. No, not every deserving player gets tossed around the room, as time and politics intervene, while his career resume became harder to ignore. Really hard. Considered A. Among pure corners, Walls is tied for 6th all-time in interceptions with 57. B. He tallied 11 interceptions in 1981. No one has done that since. And he was on pace for 13 in the strike-shortened 1982 season, with 7 in 9 games. C. He picked off 18 balls in his first 25 regular season games. Read that line again, please. D. He's the only corner to lead the NFL in interceptions 3 times. Ed Reed is the only player to do it otherwise. In related news, Reed will break things into the Hall next year. Walls intercepted 6 passes for the '90 Giants and won a Super Bowl ring in the process. What's that tell you? Quarterbacks know likey. This will be Wall's last chance to be inducted into the Hall before entering the seniors abyss. Ditto for Joe Jacoby. That's why I think one of those two will be called on Saturday. Ty Law, cornerback. My guess is that Law will get the closest of these 10. Some feel that Jason Taylor stole his spot last year. Guess Law didn't steal enough balls for the offensively obsessed Jaron James, running back. Edge could get closer than T. Among offensive players, as more interested folks are realizing we have few prolific RBs with longevity coming down the pipe. Terrell Owens, wide receiver, too many no votes, that won't be swayed, at least not this year. Alan Faneca, offensive guard, can't keep a top guard of his era out forever. Steve Hutchinson, offensive guard, of the same ilk as Faneca, Hutchinson is in his first year on the list. Waiting game. Isaac Bruce, wide receiver, a real dark horse candidate for this class. His numbers are out of sight, and he authored the biggest catch in Super Bowl 34. John Lynch, safety. Lynch has been down this finalist road a few times, 5. Sometimes these guys have a better chance when they first come up. Dawkins will go in first. Next year, Reed. 2020. Kevin Mawata, center. Like Bruce, Mawata could sneak in on the merits of a long, quality career. Center is a tough gig on the field, and in the field of poll consideration. Joe Jacoby, offensive tackle. There was more of a push for Jacoby last year, unless I've misread the tea leaves. A note on the senior and contributor candidates. This year, there are 2 senior finalists, Robert Brazel and Jerry Kramer. He was an impact player on a run-the-football play defense and special teams Houston Oilers outfit that went to 2 straight AFC championship games. Kramer's name has been brought up so many times, like Art Monk's, by fans and media alike, that I can't imagine the author of the most famous block in NFL history would fall to this late in the process. As for the contributor candidate, Bobby Beathard's resume is so ridiculous that he should strut into Canton with a surfboard in hand. In fact, he had a hand in building 7 Super Bowl teams. 7.